Our team is very large with many different divisions helping you out. So please make sure you reach out if you have any questions. Next, we'd like to share the Department of Taxation's mission and philosophy. Just to highlight, the department is committed to administering the state's tax programs fairly, efficiently, in accordance with all applicable laws, while providing consistent, impartial, and courteous service to taxpayers and government partners. We make sure that we live by this so that we are treating every taxpayer fairly. I'd like to move on to Senate Bill 1. As we all know, Senate Bill 1 established the SEID and provides the funding, statutory authority, and regulatory framework that the department follows to administer and collect the applicable taxes. On this next slide, you'll see the boundary for the SEID, and Clark County provided this boundary map. Any questions regarding the map should be directed to Clark County. Next, the SEID onboarding responsibilities really fall to the Stadium Authority. You, of course, will be working with contractors and the Stadium Authority, who then informs the department of any entity that becomes or ceases to participate with the SEID. Each participant needs to provide the authority with the following information: their business name, their business FEIN, the Nevada Department of Taxation account number, business address, contact name, contact email, and contract start and end dates. These are really important for us so that we know we are putting you into the system correctly for the Department of Taxation. We have a whole, guide here, of course, for us. You get registered with the stadium. They inform us that you are part of the SEID. We then verify that you are registered with us. If you are not registered with the Department of Taxation, we cannot set up your SEID account. So it is on you to make sure you are registered with the Department of Taxation. If your business does not do this, you will not be doing the appropriate things for the Sports and Entertainment Improvement District, and therefore the funding will not be supported. Next is, of course, as I said, you are responsible for registering with the Department of Taxation. We will then move forward with making your account and supplying you with a general instruction letter and tax exemption for the SEID contractors. And that's if you are a contractor and you are buying supplies. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Jennifer Lewis, and she will walk you through how to file your returns.
At the time of purchase. However, the district has special requirements, and as such, the department will be issuing each contractor a tax exemption letter for the SEID contractor in order to make purchases from the retailer without them assessing tax at the time of purchase. The tax exemption letter is only good for the contractor that is named on it and does not pass through to other entities. And all purchases made for consumption within the SEID boundaries need to be reported by the contractor under their SEID account. Here you can kind of see an overview for the contractor, and is where you apply and be approved through the project manager. Then they send all the information through the Stadium Authority, who in turn authorizes you to be a participant and contacts the department. Then the department verifies that you're properly registered and gets you all set up to file. And then you file and report with the department, making sure that all purchases are made using that SEID tax exemption for SEID contractor letter for your purchases for the consumption within those boundaries. This is a sample of what the letter looks like just for reference. Again, we can't stress how important it is that the tax is not paid to the vendor at the time of purchase, but reported by you, the contractors, to the department under your use tax account identified on the Schedule A for SEID, which is the Sports and entertainment and, let me try that again, sports entertainment improvement district. So that we can make sure that we're getting all the, funding in the right place under the regulation and statutes. So currently, the department, if you've been in attendance, we have the following tax types which are applicable to be paid and reported to the department under the SEID. As you can see, it's sales and use tax, modified business tax, commerce tax, insurance premium, liquor, live entertainment, exhibition, facility fees, and transportation connection tax. Currently, the first side is available for you under your account if you're registered with the department in your My Nevada Tax, which is our online portal, and then the two coming in December, the remaining two, which are exhibition fees and transportation connection tax. So currently, the count is created with an indicator on the customer level, and we, as you can see from the slide, and we will be doing a demo to, you can see what the online profile looks like. But you filing all your returns through the standard sales and use tax or use tax account you have, including the totals on Schedule A for the stadium itself. And this is a sample for the sales and use tax. Next, we have modified business and commerce tax, which are our secondary most common filing returns. Currently, the MVT
They ain't going nowhere.
commerce tax are available on e-services. However, we want to remind everybody that your commerce tax, if you've not been registered prior, is not an automatic registration. That if you have reached the threshold of over $4 million of gross revenues in the state of Nevada during the fiscal year of 2026, which started July 1, 25 through 6/30 of 26, that you'll need to get yourself registered for commerce tax. And you can register utilizing our online portal. If you go in, under your welcome, it says I want to, and then you'll say that you'll register a new account or location. To add that, again, it is the responsibility of the individuals to make sure that they're properly registered with the department and being able to report for the portions of the stadium. If your account becomes out of compliance, the department will send the individual a notice that says there might be an error on your account. Let's take a look and get this corrected. If it's not corrected within the specified time frame, we'll go ahead and send a notice to the stadium that you're out of compliance as a participant and not meeting the statutory requirements for the SAID. For any purposes with the department, but specifically for the stadium, we recommend that you follow and read through and understand the record retention requirements. Standard requirements for records is not less than 4 years for entities who have filed and 8 years for those who have not. It is vital that these records support the amounts reported to the department for clarity and transparency. The amounts reported to the boundaries should be separated and clear. If in your bookkeeping processes, some suggestions for success are to keep separate general ledger accounts, and overall just make sure that any purchases and revenues within the boundaries are well documented and transparent in your records. Please do not mail at all any of your SEID filings currently required, as the statute requires e-filing. Do not use the PO box, do not use the PO boxes for any of your filings either. They are required to be filed online. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to our SEID team, but the portal is there for ease and reporting. Now we're gonna go ahead and show you a demo on how to file your modified business and commerce tax returns.
And a commerce tax, we have them listed as a stadium district contractor. And we're going to go ahead and file a modified business tax and a commerce tax return. You can see that both have already been added to the account. So we're going to come up here to our modified business tax. And right here next to June 26 return, we're going to go ahead and click File Return. Our first page here gives us information on the classifications. We have financial, mining, and general classification. This business has been set up as a general classification. So we'll go ahead and click Next. Our first page here is our total gross wages within the state of Nevada. We're going to go ahead and put in $5 million. We'll go ahead and say $5,000 for health insurance deductions. If you have deductions available, this would be open. This company does not. So we're going to just go ahead and click Next. And here we have our special district. So this is the amount of wages that were reported from your special district. These wages were included in your total gross wages, or should have been included in the total gross wages. So this amount cannot exceed that. If you don't have any other work within the state of Nevada, then it's gonna match. If you did have other work within the state of Nevada, then these amounts would be less. But they cannot be more because your total includes everything. So we're gonna go ahead and say that this company is only here to work in the stadium district. We're gonna click Next. It gives us a breakdown of our total gross wages and your total tax due. We scroll down, it says I declare under penalty of perjury that the information is true, correct, and complete to the best of my knowledge. We're gonna go ahead and check that and click Next. And that's it. We're gonna go ahead and select our payment option. For right now, we'll go ahead and push Pay Later. Gonna select Next and confirm submission. It's as simple as that to submit your modified business tax return. If you need to go back and look at the return, you can click View Submission or View and File any past returns. When you're ready to go in and make the payment, it's listed right here. We have our balance due, and this link right here will let you go ahead and make the payment. That is it for our modified business tax. We'll go ahead and scroll down here to our commerce tax. And our June 2026 return is available. The deadline is August 14th. So if you have commerce tax returns due, it's about time to get started on those. So we'll go ahead here and click File Return. We got a little introduction. So commerce tax is for any businesses that exceed $4 million during the tax year. That's $4 million of Nevada gross revenue. We'll go ahead and select Next. It's going to ask you a couple questions here. Is your business closed? No. Are you using an alternative SIT-using method? We're going to say no. And are you using estimates to file this return? Again, we're going to go ahead and click no. So next, it's going to want you to look up your NICS code depending on what your type of business is. You can search keyword here. Oh, we'll say construction. And we're going to go ahead and put in industrial buildings construction for this business. Okay, yes, it puts our code right here. I'm going to go ahead and select no. Now for our service performance, we are entering what we provided in services for that period. We're going to put $5 million. We didn't have any sales, no other business information to enter for this case. So we'll go ahead and collect next. You'll have your general business deductions. Again, for this purpose, we're not going to put anything in any of these. But for now, we're going to leave it all blank. Going to select next, and here is our special district. So this, again, if you had other work within the state of Nevada, then your special district amounts are going to be less than your total amounts, because for this company, since they're only here to work in the special district, we're just going to go ahead and match that revenue that was previously reported at $5 million. So we'll select next, and here is our review. So we had $5 million in total gross revenue with a $4 million threshold. Our adjusted gross revenue and taxable revenue is $1 million. So we're going to again declare that this information is true, correct, and complete to the best of my knowledge, and select next. We'll come up with our payment options. We're going to go ahead and select pay later and submit the submission. Here's our confirmation page. Click OK. It brings you back to your page. So you can see here again, we submitted our June 2026 return. You can view the submission right here, and you can make your payment right here. It shows you the amount due. And that is it for filing the commerce and modified business tax returns. Thank you.
Thank you, Janine. We hope you enjoyed that demo, and if you did miss any parts of it, we will post it at tax.mv.gov. Now, I'd like to go over the key takeaways for tax filings. All participants must be authorized by the Stadium Authority prior to registration with the department. All revenue, sales, expenses, purchases, and excise tax liabilities made in relation to the SEID must be separately reported to the department. All applicable returns related to the SEID must be filed and paid electronically on My Nevada Tax. Contractors are to utilize their own tax exemption letter for SEID contractors, and that it emphasized their own letter. They cannot use anyone else's letter. And this is to make purchases to be consumed in the performance of SEID construction. This letter is not transferable. All records related to the SEID need to be transparent and retained for not less than 4 years if reported, or 8 years if not reported. Please remember that you can find all of the information for the SEID at tax.nv.gov. There's a specific link on the homepage, the Sports and Entertainment Improvement District link. Click there. That page has all the information you need, plus it will have this recording and the slides that we have shared with you today. We hope that you will scroll down so that you can see all of this information and the slides along with today's recording. Now we would like to take any questions that you might have. If you'd like to put them in the chat, we can take those, or please unmute and let us know what your questions are. Right now in the chat, I have a question regarding MBT. Can you clarify how to evaluate for employees who perform services on the project remotely from outside the SEID boundaries?
I'll go ahead and answer that. For the employees that work on the project, even if they're not physically on the property, they are working on the benefit for the project, and it would be the time spent in regard to the SEID that you would allocate to the SEID on your MBT return. Did you need a follow-up on that?
I do not see a follow-up, but I have another question.
Yeah, actually, I have a question. So even if they're not working, so this doesn't need to match like what our certified payroll is, because our certified payroll is only for the guys who are on the project. So if I have guys working at a shop somewhere that's not in the SEID area, then those wages still get reported for modified business tax? Is that correct?
If the work they're performing is related to, directly in relation to the SEID project, for consumption at the project, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So if your shop is building something and they're specifically working, fabricating something or doing architectural drawings that obviously can't be on site, but they are for the site, you would allocate the time spent towards the SEID as long as they're Nevada residents.
okay, just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So non-Nevada residents that are doing engineering work outside of Nevada that have occasional meetings that aren't even on the SEID boundary, are they required to register?
No, only the employees that you have registered as Nevada residents under the ESD or Employment Security Division are the wages that get reported under MBT, so you would not include non-residents.
Okay, that's very helpful because there's been some confusion in trying to get us to register, and we are not located in Nevada. We have occasional meetings in Nevada, but we are not Nevada residents.
If their state of residency is where you pay their unemployment security taxes, then that is,
Yep.
there is no modified business tax liability in Nevada.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
We have another question in the chat. Do we need to submit a registration form for commerce tax?
We do not have a registration form. It is used, you apply through the portal. Once you sign into your portal, at the top, there's a section that says I want to. It's one of the slides. I think it's slide 14, but don't hold me to that. That says I want to, and you're going to add a location or an account, and you'll select commerce tax as that new account, because if you've not been registered prior, that will directly link your account to your existing account, and it will have, because you're already established as an SEID participant, it will have the indicator for you to separate between your standard and the additional portion to report of what your current total was allocated to the SEID project.
Michelle has a question in the chat. I will read it. And Jennifer, I'm hoping that you can answer. It's back to wages, but then couldn't wages be in the SEID be more than reported for MBT?
They wouldn't be more than MBT because and the wages are only for the Nevada residents. So if you have out of state wages paid, they would not be reported to the SEID if they're not Nevada residents, because MBT is directly linked to the residency in the state.
Do we have any more questions?
Need to include the SEID. So the question I see is there a way to set up an appointment with myself or someone to review our SEID filings just in case? You are more than welcome to send any questions or concerns to the nvseid@tax.state.nv.us email address, and we will review them and assist you to complete your filings and let you know if there's any corrections needed. So feel free to reach out to us at that. We don't normally have phone conversations because there's a group that monitors it, and if you call one person, they might not always be available. So, but we can set up whatever is needed on that. So the next question is, so if we are already registered on the website, we just need to add the ballpark as a special district, correct? No, that is not correct. You do not add the district the stadium, so one of our workflow slides showing you is the stadium authority has to authorize all participants per the statute. And so once we receive confirmation from the stadium authority that you are a participant, we add the indicator and it is connected to all accounts that each participant has. And you'll see that indicator on your account when you log into the portal. It will identify you as a stadium participant. If you're not seeing it, it means that the stadium has not authorized you, and you'll need to get a hold of the stadium directly or your contact through the general contractor or project manager to get that corrected. The department does not have the authority to add or remove anybody from as a participant for this A's Stadium district. It is all managed through the stadium authority.
Jacob, it looks like you had a question saying, does that not contradict the answer given to Kevin's question? Could you provide a little bit more clarity on that question that you're seeking an answer to? Okay, maybe we'll come back to that.
Next question, possible to get a little more clarification on sales and use tax reporting? Absolutely. Anything that a contractor purchases for the use or consumption within the boundaries of the stadium should not pay sales tax directly to their vendor, but give them their tax exemption letter for SEID contractors to the vendor, where they will not assess you sales tax and you will self-report use tax under your on your returns filed with the department under the Schedule A. So what it means is it kind of acts as a resale type scenario where the vendor does not, you hand them the letter and they no longer charge tax, and the onus transfers to you as the contractor to self-report to the department. And because the stadium has special requirements, you report that use tax for those purchases made for consumption within the stadium boundaries under your use tax Schedule A. Hopefully that answers your question.
Jennifer, the question got a little more specific. If a supplier that typically charges sales taxes does not, in the instance of working on the A's stadium, do we remit use tax on those purchases?
If they did not, yes. The simple answer is yes. If the tax, you should not be paying sales tax to your vendor. You should be self-reporting it to the department through your return.
Thank you. Another question, the vendor has to locate within the SEID boundary.
The requirement of the statute says that we, if at all possible, we use local vendors. Sometimes you have specialty materials that have to be purchased that are made purchases that are not a local, but your vendor is not going to be located within the boundaries. You're going to consume the items within the boundaries, but purchases, we don't have any vendors located on the property because it's obviously being developed at this time. So your vendors are going to be authorized and determined by the project manager who you make those purchases from. The department does not regulate that. It's that we provide you a letter to provide to them so they don't assess you tax. If you're working with out-of-state vendors, the same type of scenario goes is that you want to make sure that you've given them the letter, they accept it, and they don't assess you tax, because tax is due to the district, not to an outside state when you're making those purchases. And there could be some confusion, so feel free to email us at any time with questions or concerns, and we'll answer them if you have more specific, need more specific details on how to handle that.
We have one more question here.
So it says our exemption letter was dated 6/4/26, but had a backdated effective date of March of 26. How do we account for sales tax already paid to the vendor for those 3 months? I would say that's probably more something that we take offline because this is an individual case matter in how to keep that going and correct. Hopefully, the idea behind the stadium district and the project manager is that we have all the information and you're all set up before you make those purchases. So we'll get back to you. And if you could send that specific question, Ryan, to the NVSEID, we'll get you set up to how to correct that situation. But in most scenarios, we should be working where you have your letter and you're all registered and set up before you start on the project, so you won't run into that going forward. Does anybody else have any further concerns or questions for us?
Thank you, Jennifer. Again, we'd like to show you our contacts. Please don't call the call center. We have the email of nvseid@tax.state.mv.us. We have all resources, information, slides, videos on our website at tax.mv.gov. Click on the Sports and Entertainment Improvement District information link. And then, of course, I'm available too at taxpio@tax.state.mv.us. We would like to summarize that SEID taxes are required to be filed electronically on My Nevada Tax. Do not use the PO boxes. All correspondence should be, if you need any mail-ins, not filing or payments or anything like that, then correspondence needs to be mailed to our Carson City office at 3850 Arrowhead Drive. We do have this dedicated team, so please reach out to us at the NVSEID email address, and we will address your concerns and get back to you as soon as possible. We want to thank you again for joining us, and we will continue to do these down halls in the future. And of course, look in your emails for any more information from us at the department. Thank you so much.